Oh man, this is the video. This is the video. I'm going to be talking about tech jargon. This is super important for non-tech founders. My name is Chris McClure. I'm the CEO of McClure Dev Solution, and I'm going to go through 5 common tech terms that you're going to hear thrown around all the time. I'm going to break them down. Hopefully you'll be able to understand them when I'm done. So let's get started. Number 1, you're going to hear me use this term all the time. API, otherwise known as Application Programming Interface. So you could think of this. You go to a restaurant, you sit down, you want some food. Your waiter comes up, they take your order, they go back to the kitchen. At some point they come back and they return you a delicious plate of food. So that's kind of what an API is. It's a way for different systems or software to kind of facilitate exchange of data or commands. Generally, this is something that you do is you might have a mobile app and it will call an API. It'll say, I want this piece of data or I want to store this thing. And then behind the scenes, the API will do whatever it's supposed to do and it returns you back the object. It might say successfully saved. It might give you back a user account. Number 2, Agile Development. Now this one is hotly contested. Why? Some people swear by it. Others think it's the dumbest thing in the world. But generally when you work with developers, you heard them talk about Agile Development. That means sprint boards. That means flexibility. It means customer participation. It means continuous delivery, all these terms. But essentially what it means is as you build, you're ready for change. So you as the founder might start by saying, I need features A, B, C, and D. And you start building. You get feature A done. You start testing with customers while feature B is being done. Wait a minute. You don't need C and D anymore. You found out you have new features and it gives you the chance to pivot and move. Compared to the old term, which was waterfall, is I've got a project, come back to me in 6 months when it's done. So Agile is a great way to go, and you can hear that term a lot. Number 3, cloud computing. What exactly is cloud computing? Well, think of it like renting a house instead of buying one. You get all the benefits of a house without the upfront cost or needing to maintain it. So in tech, it's like this. If we want to use something in AWS cloud, well, AWS lets us essentially rent computer resources. And when we think of the cloud, don't think of it as some magic faraway system. Really, all it is, if you talk about Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud, it just means there's some computer or some server that you're using at Microsoft. And it gives you the ability to be flexible. And particularly for a founder, it's great because you don't have to make a huge investment on any kind of capital or resources. You don't have to pay someone to maintain this stuff. You can just pay Azure, Microsoft, or Google. Those are the 3 main cloud providers to provide you with the resources you need so you can focus on your application. Number 4, version control. What does that even mean? Well, it would be like if everyone's working on a shared Google Doc and every time somebody makes a change, there's a record of it. So you could see what it is and the last 5 people that have changed it. And that way you know as things change what's going on. So the same thing happens in code. I might write this beautiful line of code. Then the next developer is going to come in and if they want to change the code, where are they going to get the code? Where are they going to do all this stuff? Are we going to pass files back and forth? No. In this case, we use something called GitHub. We might use Azure DevOps. We could use Bitbucket. And what that means is we're going to take our code. We're going to push it up to a central repository. And when they want the code, they can pull it down, make changes. Changes are recorded. They can push it back up to the cloud or our repository where all our code's at. And then we have the opportunity to review that code before it's moved in. And we call it a merge request or a pull request. And then it's merged into the code. And then now you have your new code. I feel like I already got too techie there, but it's something that's very important. And as a non-tech founder, I would really encourage that anybody you're working with uses version control. And number 5, and this is the one you're going to hear me talk about all the time, minimum viable product. So imagine you're opening a new pizza place, but you want to test if the pizza's going to be any good. Test if you're going to have customers. Test if it's worth putting the time and money in. Well, so you start by selling just one basic, delicious pizza. So think of that as your MVP. So you build the simplest version of your product that you can launch for customers to see first, test, and validate. And this is a critical thing. And this is one thing that I love about building software for startups, is we can get that MVP out. We can get it out in front of people. We can prove that it works. And we can get it in front of customers so they can test, give feedback, and we can use agile processes to adjust so that you can serve your customers better and solve that problem. So You're like, hey, Chris, that's only 5. There's like a million more terms. Absolutely. So what I suggest you do is go to McClure Dev Solutions. We put together an ebook called Decoding Tech Jargon. Download it from there, and it's got a whole list of terms so that you can read it and you can have smart conversations with developers. They'll think you know what you're doing. It'll be great. And hopefully it'll be kind of demystify a lot of the code and those hard terms that people talk about when you just kind of glaze over during conversations. So again, McClure Dev Solutions, go there, get the free ebook. Thanks for watching.